Hey everyone, welcome. I'm excited to be here with all of you and talking about some of the key innovations around Sumo Logic observability in the past year. And I've been fortunate to be part of this amazing journey as Sumo Logic dives into observability. And what I hope you get from this session is what we've done, what we're planning to do, and also a good reminder of our commitment to observability and reliability management for all of you. With that, I'll get started. Quick introduction. This is my first Illuminate, so very exciting for me. I joined Sumo roughly 6 months ago, coming off a stint in the Azure team, working on the Azure machine learning service. Prior to that, had the opportunity to co-found a company in the marketing automation space, named Optify, which ended up in Adobe, and also some background with companies like HP and Mercury Interactive in the past. It's always been about data for me, about analytics for me, and lately machine learning. And I think one of the things that drew me into Sumo and Sumo observability is the wealth of data that we're able to work with and use as we build our solutions. So again, excited to be here. Wish this was in person, but also know we'll get there soon enough. So let's jump into this. But before, I talk about specifics, and there's a lot of material for me that I'm going to share. We'll also have two quick demos I'd like you all to see. I'll start and end with this slide. If you need to remember three things or three takeaways from this session, one is around the breadth and depth of the coverage of observability. The other is how deep we're going into the application stack. And the third is around how much we're thinking about these or your productive experiences. And, it starts from the real world. It starts from the fact we know how complex applications are becoming, how complex environments are becoming, microservices everywhere, a lot of cloud implementation, whether it's in one cloud, take your pick, AWS, Azure, GCP, whether it's a multi-cloud implementation. We see these implementations growing at a rapid pace. We're seeing a lot more microservices, driving a lot more applications, and at the same time, a lot less time to manage them and make sure they're reliable. And as I walk through our product thinking, as I walk through how we're thinking about these solutions, keep in mind that's what keeps us up at night. And what's driving us is, hey, how we're going to help you with these complexities and how we're going to help you become more productive. I'll talk about three main layers of observability, and I'll start from the bottom up. I'll touch on what we're doing for infrastructure monitoring. I'll talk about the integrations and visibility and the number of components we're building coverage for. At the base of a good observability program is a solid infrastructure, is a solid way to monitor that infrastructure in a scalable manner. I'll layer on top of that what we're doing in the application performance management area. And this has been an area where we've really dug deep in the last 12 months. And the idea is, hey, let's go beyond logs, metrics, traces. Let's better understand how your applications work and how your users behave. Only when you're able to understand that combination are you able to offer a strong observability solution. Now, there's a lot, as I said, in these two areas. And we want to make sure that a powerful platform does not mean a hard experience. A powerful platform, to be successful, needs to have simple, strong experiences that align with the biggest challenges you're seeing. I'll talk about the observability experience we've built. I'm excited to announce one of these new experiences today. And I'll also talk about how we're thinking about these experiences moving forward. You may have seen this slide or a flavor of this slide. We or I coined it Fullstack Observability. And again, bottoms up, if you look at the three bottom layers, they're all about infrastructure monitoring, whether it's the actual cloud infrastructure, whether it's the microservice or the orchestration platform like Kubernetes, or whether it's the specific app component. These are all about the infrastructure. So maybe let me first spend a few minutes and talk about what we've been doing on the infrastructure monitoring side, again, to make sure that you get to focus on what's important to your business. You get to focus on key aspects of your application. You get the best experiences, but at the same time, you have a solid infrastructure that enables you to drive all of that. As I said, complexity, and I love this slide, right? It's so colorful. There's a lot in it. It talks about how we're bringing in logs, metrics, and traces into Sumo Logic. It talks about the different sources we're seeing, containers, application components, DevOps tool chains very much in play, CDNs, all the way to specific AWS, Azure, and GCP sources, all coming in. So, there's a lot going on here. And we know there's also a lot going on with your infrastructure. And the way we're looking to simplify that is by building these out-of-the-box solutions. And the out-of-the-box solutions provide alerts, provide log queries, provide metrics, and provide dashboards, all out of the box in order to support this ongoing, I would say, wave of application components we know you're going to need to monitor. So looking back 12 months, we've done a lot, like whether it's on the web tier or the messaging tier or the database tier. These are all new applications in the Sumo catalog that are ready for you to start using today. These are all new applications that will make it quicker, faster, and more efficient for you to get started and extend your existing infrastructure monitoring scenario. But we don't stop there. I think that there's, as we said, there's a lot here, and we've got to be able to plug in the right analytics and machine learning to help you do more. Another set of applications you'll find us releasing, or you'll see us releasing, are these global intelligence applications. What these applications do is they compare. They help you understand how am I doing compared to others like me, compared to others running on Sumo, and compared to overall industry. Is the number of connection pools in AWS smaller, the same, or bigger than others? Is my Kubernetes cluster set up in a way that's comparable to others that are working well, or is it set up in a way that's really reflecting the wrong configuration? These global intelligence apps help you answer these questions. And what we've done is extend the reach of those apps. If you're using Apache, if you're using Nginx, if you're using Kubernetes, Tomcat, or AWS CloudTrail, you can use these apps to benchmark what you do. So it's not just about benchmarking, monitoring, it's also about benchmarking. Now note, we also talked about the orchestration layer. And we know there's a layer over the infrastructure that requires deeper discovery and deeper integration. So we've taken that to the next level on two areas. One, Kubernetes. We know a lot of you are depending on Kubernetes nodes and clusters to run your business. We do the same here. And we know that discovery and integration of these orchestration layers is key for your success, is key to making you more productive. So we build this solution for Kubernetes that allows you easier discovery, easier integration, brings in the infrastructure, brings in a visibility or deeper visibility into the logs, metrics, and traces running across Kubernetes. Even allows you to see deeper threats that may be looming within your clusters. So we do that at the K8 level, Kubernetes level. We also do that at the AWS level. We know a lot of you are running your business on AWS. We know discovery and integration are a challenge. So in addition to monitoring the specific applications, in addition to monitoring the specific components, we provide this rich out-of-the-box content that's built over CloudTrail, that's built over EC2 metrics, that's built over CloudWatch logs, and gives you this instant visibility into your AWS or into the world of AWS as you've defined it. So stepping back for a second, going back to this full stack view, what we've done and is ready for you to start using is at the infrastructure, microservice or orchestration and app component level is extend. We have more applications, we have more benchmarks, and we have more support for key orchestration layers to allow you to build support for infrastructure. But as I said, infrastructure monitoring is only one part of the puzzle. Let's move on to application components. The idea behind application components is, hey, I want a bigger understanding or deeper understanding of what's going on in my application and what my end users are doing. It's not enough to look at CPUs. It's not enough to look at logs. It's required, it's needed, but we know you need a lot more visibility into what's happening within the application. Infrastructure may be running at the subpar level, but your application could be running fine. Your application could be providing a subpar experience, but your infrastructure will not show it. So the combination and connection between the two is key. So our strategy with APM is simple. First, it's open. Long gone are the days when a proprietary agent is something we require you to use and build. Long gone are the days where any vendor, let alone us, would say, hey, this is the way for you to collect data. We base the data collection on open telemetry. We base the data collection on what the community is doing. And we're bringing in that flavor of the trace data into Sumo. That allows you to monitor your application services. That allows you to build or get service maps and flow diagrams available out of the box. That allows you to do transactional level troubleshooting. So that layer of infrastructure monitoring I just talked about gets augmented with another view. That view is the application view. And now these two start to work together. But we don't stop at the application. We go all the way to the user. And one of the things we've delivered in the past couple of months and is now GA, we're very excited about real user monitoring or browser monitoring. How do we deliver real user data on top of the application data and on top of the monitoring data? And as you can see, I'm quite excited about this, but I'd let Pavel, one of our leading product managers who's been working on our APM strategy, quickly show you what we delivered on RUM.
Real user monitoring gives you insight into how your end users experience your web applications. By applying OpenTelemetry compatible instrumentation directly into the JavaScript code executed in your users' browsers, you're able to understand not only high-level KPIs related to performance of loading and rendering of your pages, but also inspect each of these transactions in details with full data from browser to the last service backend application infrastructure. Let's take a look at, for example, at our Sumo Logic platform, where our front-end web performance team is successfully using our own product to better understand yours, our customers' experience when using our services. We can do that for the whole site or individually by any action group that is automatically tracked for the busiest pages of the application. We can start with a high-level overview of the most important KPIs like DNS or SSL setup time, as well as how long did it take to send a request and receive a full response from the client's browser point of view. You can also easily understand how long it takes to render and display the initial and largest content on the screen. If we're interested more in users' demographics and performance from different browsers, operating systems, or geolocations, we can switch to top-end view. As we can see, end users need to wait a bit longer on Chrome 91 versus other browsers to render the pages. But fortunately, we don't have too many such users. We can also perform more sophisticated analysis for well-defined cohort of users, specifying a concrete browser and or location, and inspect our KPIs only for this fraction of users. As always in Sumo Logic, thanks to our unified data repository, it is very easy to drill down from high-level dashboards to specific detailed data that contributed to analyzed KPIs. For example, here, we can drill down directly to see individual transactions contributing to this spike. Here we can see many loads of the log search page, but we can also search for other transactions representing various user actions, like, for example, clicking on service map node. In any case, we can drill down further and see precisely the load sequence of each individual page, showing us how much time was spent in the backend calls, which request APIs and services contributed to this, and how much time it was spent to download, render, and display the content in the user's browser. All in all, this gives you a very valuable opportunity to extend your application visibility to the user end, as any application reliability starts with end user experience. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Pavel, for sharing that. And I really want to emphasize that as we think about full stack observability, we start at the end user, through the application, through the different components, all the way down to your infrastructure via the orchestration level. But we don't stop there. We know that's not enough. We know the world is complex, so we're bringing in the simplified solution and accelerators to monitor your infrastructure and manage your applications and users. But we also know that at the heart of your observability program are people. And these people need the perfect experiences that align with the challenges that they're looking into on a daily basis in order to be more productive and more efficient. Our strategy around observability experiences starts with studying the customer, understanding where we can use machine learning, analytics, and big data that's unique to Sumo to accelerate the time to solution, to accelerate the time to value for the customer, for you. And I'm pretty excited about this next experiences we're rolling out. You'll see us continuously pushing out them experiences. And the next experience is really at the heart and soul of a pain point we all have, right? It's 3 a.m., beepers beeping, DRI or direct response individual has just woken up. She needs to deal with an alert. He needs to deal with a quick response. How do we do that? Well, we provide this alert response view. And what we try to do is surface the information that matters. The way we do this is by, again, bringing in contextual signals powered by machine learning in order to drive solution, in order to drive insight, and in order to drive resolution to the issue in a quick manner. We'll give you the basic details you'd expect, and I'll quickly show you them in a sec. But I want to touch on the unique aspect here. We use big data and machine learning to start pulling in signals. These signals are invaluable hints that drive you towards where the issue is. These signals look at your logs, terabytes of logs, and tell you, hey, where is there a change in the log while this alert has happened? These signals look at different dimensions. And we know you could have hundreds and thousands of dimensions for every data point and point out the dimensions that matter, the ones you want to look at. These signals come in cards and they look at anomalies in metrics and trace data reported by relevant entities to this alert. These signals also go as far as dive into the benchmarks I mentioned earlier and say, how are we doing compared to those benchmarks? So I'm running through this. I'll also show you a quick demo, but you'll quickly find this in your Sumo implementation as we're rolling out alert response for everyone who's receiving an alert. So with that, let me quickly jump into the demo.
Hello, everyone. In this demo, we'll see how alert response can help you troubleshoot production issues quickly. You will get a link to the alert page in your alert notification, just like you see here. Let's click on it and see where it takes us. The alert page provides me some basic information about what is the issue. In this case, it's telling me that the latency on my front end has increased and it was fine just before the alert happened. It also shows me information about other alerts that are firing in the system. In this case, I see that the errors on my front end service are also high. Let's look at it a bit more. This error rate alert is giving me the same basic information as the last alert. It's telling me that the error started happening around the same time as the latency issue. It is also giving me context information as to what might be causing this issue. First two cards here analyze my log messages and surface interesting observations. These cards are telling me that the errors are net new. They did not happen before. The other thing they're telling me that the errors are primarily happening while talking to either the cart service or getting product recommendations. Okay. You can click on these log messages to get more details. In this case, we can see that the errors are happening when user tries to interact with the cart. Coming back to the alert, I see another card. This one surfaces anomalies and metric data. Here I can see that load on multiple services has increased, possibly because of increased traffic. I also see that CPU and memory metrics are bottlenecked, which could be explained by the load. And finally, I see error anomalies. And I see cart service again having issues. Let us understand this better by opening the Explorer. Here I can see crash loop back off happening, possibly because of the memory and CPU pressure. I can provision extra resources to fix both the CPU and memory, which can solve the problem.
Thank you, Angad. Angad is our lead PM for alert response. And again, the mission we have is reducing the mean time to resolution by providing a curated out-of-the-box experiences that A is easy to use and B is powered by the analytics based on the data we already have from your system. So we provide the detail for the alert and the context for that alert. So this is announced today. You'll start see these show up in your Sumo implementation. Alerts being sent in will land on the alert response page. And we're looking forward to continuously tuning and improving these signals that allow you to run faster than your competition, that allow your team to deal with these 3 a.m. incidents in a fast and efficient manner, stay happier with what they're doing, and also drive the quality of the application. I'll talk about a second experience we're now looking at. And before that, maybe I'll step back and say, look, what's next for us is as we're building these, or as we're, I should say, improving and iterating on the work we're doing on infrastructure monitoring, application management, and the observability experiences, we're focusing on how to make your applications more reliable. We understand the impact of a non-reliable application, and we want to take that challenge on and help you solve it. And what you will start seeing in the next few months is this idea of reliability management. The Sumo Logic platform will start helping you drive reliability by defining objectives. We'll calculate uptime and let you manage that. SLIs, service level indicators, service level objectives, and error budgets will become first-class entities in the product. We'll be able to help you look at your error budget, look at the burn down of that error budget, and using your analytics know how safe or at how much risk you are at any point of time. We're also supporting Open SLO and other open source projects within the community when we're doing this. We don't want to do this at a vacuum. Just like we're doing with Open Telemetry, we're plugging into areas where the community is making investments rather than pushing you into a proprietary solution. And we're also very confident reliability management is going to be key for all of you, and want to make sure that the reliability management we're building integrates with other solutions as well. So, as promised, I'll conclude where I started. If there's 3 takeaways based on a complex world and the efficiency you need, we have been investing and will continue to invest in breadth and depth of coverage, especially in the infrastructure monitoring aspect, deep application understanding that goes all the way above and beyond infrastructure, above and beyond the application and into the behavior of your users. And then on top of that, layer these productive experiences, starting with alert response today and moving into reliability management in the future. I want to thank everyone for joining us. I'm excited to take any questions or comments. I'm excited to hear your feedback. We believe that you, our customer, is the #1 source of truth for us, #1 source of reuse as we build out our roadmap, and would love to hear more from you. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the conference.